Hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome back to my channel, Baking Book and History Nook. Today we're going to be making 3 recipes from the Betty Crocker Snack Lovers Cookbook. This book was published in 1986, and if you can look really closely here, it cost $1.95 in 1986. The first recipe we are going to make is called Golden Bars. And everything is all set. Let's get baking. The first step of this recipe is to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. The next step is to mix 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar with 3/4 of a cup of softened butter. So now I'm going to use my hand mixer to mix together the butter and powdered sugar. I finished mixing my butter and powdered sugar together, and this is what it looks like. It looks really nice. It actually looks like cake frosting. I kind of just want to take a taste. It looks really good. And the next step is to mix 1.5 cups of flour in with the butter and powdered sugar. The recipe actually says to stir it in, but I'm gonna use the hand mixer. I think that this would be really hard to stir in. So I'll try with the hand mixer. I know I'm not being completely authentic, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm gonna do half at a time as well, because I think it's gonna be pretty thick, because this is gonna be the crust for our bars. The next step is to press this evenly into an ungreased 9 by 13 by 2 inch baking pan. And now I'm just going to press this evenly into the baking dish. Got my nice blue spatula to get the job done. This is it's dry crust. Maybe I shouldn't have used the mixer on it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Ooh, gosh, it's kind of like moving around in the baking pan. It's kind of slippery. I don't know. I might have to go in with my fingers and press this, because I'm not sure the spatula is going to work. It's sticking to the spatula. This is why they said ungreased. Definitely does not need to be greased. Yep, I'm using my fingers. The crust has been evenly pressed into the bottom of our pan. You can see it's very thin. And the next step is to bake this for 12 to 15 minutes until it is light golden brown. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I just took the crust out of the oven, and this is what it looks like from the side. And this is what it looks like from the top. Now it's time to make the filling. And the recipe book is not very specific about this. It simply says to mix the remaining ingredients together. So I'm going to do it my way. The first thing I'm going to do is add the liquid ingredients. So I have 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm just going to stir together the eggs and the vanilla. The next ingredients I'm going to add are a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And those are both in this little dish here. The recipe also calls for 2 tablespoons of flour, which I'm also going to add at this time. And now I'm just going to stir those 3 ingredients in with the wet ingredients. I'm not going to show you what this mixture looks like right now because it looks really gross, but I am going to add 1.5 cups of packed brown sugar. You can see it's definitely packed. And I'm actually going to use the mixer now to mix all of this together before I add the final ingredient. So just give me a minute to mix this up. The last step is to add 2 cups of granola, and it says you can use any flavor. I chose this raisin almond honey granola. Let's see how that turns out. Here's my bowl. Here's my bowl with 2 cups of the granola. I'm just going to stir this in. I'm all finished with the mixer now. The very last thing that we have to do is to spread the batter evenly over the crust. Oh, it's really thick. It doesn't want to come out of the bowl. There we go. This is what it looks like from the top, and this is what it looks like from the side. And now we're ready to bake our golden bars for 18 to 20 minutes in a 350-degree oven. Let's pop these in and get them baking. The golden bars are done, and this is what they look like. They are golden. Here's a side view. I'm just going to let these sit and cool for a while, and we'll try them later. Good morning. It is actually the next day. My microphone died yesterday, and I wasn't able to finish doing the filming, including the tastings. So this morning, we have the privilege of tasting the golden bars that I made yesterday. Actually, I'm going to tell you, it's just such a sacrifice to have dessert after breakfast. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. I'm actually really excited to have dessert after breakfast. It reminds me of growing up as a kid in the 80s, and I can tell another 80s story because we're using an 80s cookbook right now. But when I was a kid, and whenever I stayed over at my grandma's house, we could always have dessert after breakfast. But the rule was that you had to finish your breakfast before you could have dessert. And usually breakfast was a frosted Pop-Tart. So you had to finish your frosted Pop-Tart before you could have your cookie or ice cream or whatever grandma was serving for breakfast that day. We are going to try these golden bars. Here's what they look like. I also wanted to say that I actually already tried these. I couldn't wait. I cut into them last night and gave them a try, but I am not going to tell you what I thought of them until I take another bite today. In the spirit of dessert after breakfast, Grandma, this one's for you. Let's take a taste of our golden bars. So now that I've tasted the golden bars, I can tell you they are awesome. The crust underneath is just buttery and delicate, and it kind of melts in your mouth. And then the filling puffed up in the oven, and there's this little crumbly layer on the top it's also very delicate, and it crumbles when you bite into it, but it's absolutely delicious. What's even more delicious is the soft kind of caramely filling in the middle of it. It's just so good. It almost reminds me of a thicker version of the filling in pecan pie. It's just not the flavor, but the caramely consistency of it. It's actually a little hard to tell that there's even granola in these bars. And when I was making the recipe, I was a little concerned that there weren't enough wet ingredients, that it was going to be dry. With the egg and the vanilla and then the brown sugar mixing together to make that soft caramely filling that kind of melts in your mouth, it's just awesome. They're not dry at all. They're just absolutely delicious. I give the golden bars 5 out of 5 stars, and I will definitely be making this recipe again. It was really fun to experience having dessert after breakfast again, and I hope you will do the same. And maybe you'll make golden bars and have those for your dessert. The next snack recipe we're going to be making is called salami wedges. It's a very simple recipe. It calls for 3 ounces of cream cheese. I have an 8-ounce package here. We're just going to use whatever we need from that. And it calls for 9 slices of salami, which I think that they mean like the lunch meat ones that are about the size of this piece of bread. I have smaller salami slices here, but it's going to work just fine. So really all you need is a package of cream cheese and a package of salami slices. Let's get started. Ooh, that salami is very pungent. I hope this is going to be a good recipe. So all I'm going to do is take pieces of salami and spread some of the softened cream cheese on them. And this is gonna take me a little while. This is kind of a putsy, finicky sort of process. I think that this is something that would be really good for an appetizer at a party or something. I know my mom made something similar when I was a kid in the 80s, actually, which is why I chose this recipe, because it seemed just similar to what she used to make. She made it at Christmas time when I was a kid, Christmas and New Year's, and she used to buy packages of budding beef lunch meat, and then she would thinly spread cream cheese on each slice, and then she would sprinkle onion powder on it, and then roll them up, and then she would cut them. Ooh, it's skating across the cutting board. And then she would cut them up into about 1-inch pieces and stick a toothpick in them. And we used to eat them as appetizers during the holidays. They were so good. That's why I'm really hoping that these are good. I have high hopes here that it's probably a little bit similar of a recipe. And I don't know about you, but I love snacks. That's one of the reasons I chose this cookbook to use this week. I actually found this cookbook a couple months ago at the library book sale, I don't think it was a part of the book sale where they took it from their collection. It was somebody brought these. They had a few of them, the old little magazine style cookbooks that you used to see like in the grocery store checkout aisle. There were a few of them in the book sale on a cart, and I grabbed them up. So far, I have 4 of these done. I think I'm going to start to stack them and see what they look like. So the next step you're supposed to do is to just take these and stack them like so. Okay, that's 4 slices stacked. It said you're supposed to do 9. So I'm going to keep spreading the cream cheese on. Actually, I'm going to set this one over here. I'm going to keep spreading cream cheese on these salami slices and keep stacking them until I have 9. I think I have 8 layers on my little stack here. And now I'm going to take one more piece and add it to the top. And I'm not going to put any cream cheese on that one. And now I'm going to make another stack of these as well. I made 3 stacks of the cream cheese and salami slices. Now I'm going to put them on a plate, cover them, and stick them in the fridge to chill. Once the cream cheese has hardened again, then we're going to pull them out and cut them and turn them into our snacks. Or I think they're going to be more like hors d'oeuvres. But either way, I hope they're delicious. The salami stacks have been allowed to chill in the fridge for a few hours now, and we are going to finish the recipe by cutting them into wedges and garnishing them. According to the recipe, we should be cutting the stacks into 12 wedges, and then if you wish, garnish wedges with olives, pearl onions, or cherry tomatoes on wooden toothpicks. Because these are smaller than what the recipe really calls for, the salami pieces are, I'm only going to cut these into wedges, like 4 wedges each, I think. And then I'm going to garnish mine with olives on toothpicks. I have a box of toothpicks and my jar of olives. I have my cutting board and knife. We are all set. Let's cut our wedges. They're definitely firm. I think this is going to be good for cutting. I have a serrated knife. I think that's our best bet here. I'm just going to gently kind of saw away and cut them into the wedges. Trying not to squeeze out any of the cream cheese. Yeah, that worked. One more time. Okay, I'm going to put them back on the plate while I cut the other ones, and then we'll add the garnishes last. They're pretty. You can see the layers of the cream cheese between the salami. We're all done cutting. Let's garnish these wedges. Got a toothpick. I'm going to put this just in the top, like so. And then I'm going to take an olive. I'm actually going to get a napkin and I'm going to dry off the olive before I put it on the top. I don't think we want olive juice dripping onto our salami wedges. So I just dried off my olive with the napkin, and now I'm going to put the olive on top. And let's finish garnishing these. Here's what our salami wedges look like. I think they turned out beautifully. They're very fun to look at with all the layers, and the olives really add some color. They're just really nice. They were very simple to make. Let's see how they taste. The salami wedges taste good. If you like salami, lunch meat, and cream cheese, I think that you will like these. There was quite a bit of cream cheese. I think if I make these again, I would try to make the layers of cream cheese just a little bit thinner. That would probably make it better. It was almost a little bit too much cream cheese, even for me, and I love cream cheese. I have not eaten my olive yet. I don't even know if I like olives. This is not something that we typically had at my house. We did not eat green olives growing up. We ate black olives, but I will give this a try as it's part of the appetizer. Let's see if I like green olives. It really wasn't bad at all. The olive was pretty good. I didn't realize how salty green olives are. They're, in my opinion, much saltier than black olives. Um, it was okay. It had the pimento in it. That was fine too. I think I would prefer them mixed in something as opposed to just eating a bunch of green olives on their own. But it's not bad. It was pretty good. That encourages me to make some recipes, maybe from the 40s through the 60s, that have green olives in them. The salami wedges, I think I would give them a 3 out of 5. And I might make these again. They're good for an appetizer, I think, for maybe a holiday party or something. And if you don't like green olives, which some people don't, then you can also garnish them with pearl onions or a cherry tomato, just so that you add some color and interest and a little bit of extra flavor. The last recipe we're going to make today is from the beverages section of the Snack Lovers Cookbook. This is a very easy recipe. All you do is mix all of the ingredients together. We're going to mix in some partially thawed strawberries. These were in my freezer and I let them thaw out a little while. And now they're ready to go in. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. There we go. Now we have some orange juice. The last ingredient is some vanilla. Now we're going to blend all of the ingredients together, and I'm going to use my immersion blender for this. Our drink is all mixed up. Now I'm just going to pour some into this fancy glass and give it a sip. The last recipe we have to taste today is the double strawberry sip. You can see the glass. Dip in it. This is a very old antique glass. It belonged to my grandmother. The set of glasses did. We don't know if she got this at a rummage sale or an antique mall, or if this perhaps belonged to my great-grandparents. I don't know, but we're using what was at least Grandma's glass today. Let's take a sip of our double strawberry sip. That's tasty. I noticed when I was about to take a sip, it smells really good. The strawberries, it smells very strongly of strawberry. The yogurt makes it creamy. I can taste the tanginess from the orange juice, and of course I can taste the strawberries because there's both strawberry yogurt and there was partially frozen strawberries in there as well. One thing that I really couldn't taste was the teaspoon of vanilla that was in there. Really what I noticed was the strawberries, the creaminess from the yogurt, and then the aftertaste, kind of a tang from the orange juice. While this is a good snack, I actually think it would be better as a breakfast beverage because of the yogurt and the strawberries and the orange juice. It just seems like it's very breakfasty to me. It's a good drink. It's very easy to make. It's something that I think kids would like as well. And I do recommend it. I would make it again. I give it a 3 out of 5. This has been 3 recipes from Betty Crocker's Snack Lovers Cookbook, published in 1986. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed watching me make the recipes and taste them. And I hope that you'll try some of these recipes at home as well. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please like it. And if you would like to see more videos, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber, and I look forward to making more videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.